Great, so this is also an interesting question. How to make the inside of this fixture gold and the exterior a different color. So I've opened up your file, and here they are. These look great. I'm going to switch to shaded mode, just so I can kind of see what they look like see what they look like. Okay, so this one is on the default layer. These look like, well, they're kind of yellow. Maybe I assume that you're trying to give it a goldish color, which might have been. So the display color here I can see varies. If I switch it to by layer, it goes back to being just black because it's on the default layer. Alright, so how to make these look two-tone. The first method might be to model this with thickness and to actually give it an inner layer that you can apply another color to. And the other method would be to do it through materials and kind of simulate that effect. So I think we'll do both. Okay, in the first case, let's just kind of make it thicker. So I'll switch to ghosted view, right? And I'll select it. And this is, let's see here, this is grouped. So I've selected the object, clicked on properties just to learn more about it. So right now it says it's grouped, so I'm going to ungroup it. Now here I have a single surface, which is just the lampshade. Okay, so it doesn't have a top here right here, which is fine. So let's give this a little bit of thickness. So I'll type in offset surf. You can see that doing that it's going to kind of pop outwards, or if I want to toggle it, make it pop inwards, I can just left click on it. You see the arrows point inwards. This would be a solid, so it wouldn't just be an inner surface disconnected from the other one. It would be a solid, which I think is fine. Let's do that. And the distance, I'm going to change that to maybe 0.125, so 1/8 of an inch thick. 0.125. Let's hit enter and enter again, and that give it, I guess a kind of a credible thickness. And you can see there it's solid, in fact. So the next step is going to be to separate the inner layer. So I'll type in extract surf and click on that inside layer, and I can actually see that I've only picked half of it. So I'll click on this one to pick the other half and hit enter. So now those are separate, and I want to put those on a different layer. And I'll maybe put those on layer 1. So change object layer, and there we go. So now we can so now we can kind of control those two materials, independently, and I can just, independently. Let's switch to rendered view. So in rendered view, this is where you're looking at textures. Right now all the textures are kind of the same for all the layers, and so that's why it looks the same. So if we give the layer 01 a different material, and I'll do that here by clicking on that circle here, which will give it a color. Maybe I'll make it a metal, and let's choose a color, and I can go over here to maybe gold yellow, click OK, and that's given it an inner layer, so that works. I think this is maybe the most realistic because it has a little bit of the edge thickness and so forth. So that worked out nicely. I'll switch back to shaded mode, and let's look at this first example to look at a slightly different method without doing the offset. So over here I can see that this one is also grouped, so I'm going to ungroup it. Alright, so here in this case we're going to use a special material called a two-sided material. So go back to layers. This currently resides on the default layer. I'm going to put it on layer 2, just so we can kind of explore this different material. Alright, so switching to render just so we can check out the materials. You can see here that it looks the same because the default layer and this layer 2 have the same material. We're going to switch this for layer 2. So I'll click on that. And so we haven't given this object thickness. This time we're going to just do it we're going to fake it with a two-sided material. And so here under type, I'm going to go down to double-sided, and you can see that you have an option here for front and back. So for the front, let's click on that and choose something like maybe plastic, just as a little bit of reflectiveness. Click OK, and we can leave it white. Click OK. And for the inside or the back face, I'll click on this one, and this time choose metal. Click OK, and we'll choose in terms of color. Click on this color picker, choose gold yellow, the same one we did last time. Click OK. And now that we've set up this double-sided material, click OK, and that's being applied to this layer 2. So you can see that the outside and the inside are controlled, but it's still really just one surface, whereas this one is multiple surfaces to kind of create that effect.